What is up, sports fans? We are back for another episode of The Fan and the End. I'm your host, as always, Stephen Rychel, being joined by my two favorite former football players, Marvin Powell III to the right of me, Big Bed Troop underneath me. We're here to have some fun tonight, and the Common Sense Committee is back in effect, my friend.
I like that.
No, I'm telling you, when I get the
we gonna get some shirts made. We the Common Sense Committee, Marv. That's what we are.
Going on a logo that says the Common Sense Committee.
Of course. Steve, and listen, that way we don't have to wait to do the fan to the end. We could be walking out and about, just enjoying our day, and somebody do something. Sir, whoa, stop! What are you doing? Who you work for, sir? Common Sense Committee. Okay, I'm just saying. Common sense ain't common. Hashtag common sense is not common, no doubt.
With that being said, every episode here on the South Florida Tribune in the Fan in the End is brought to you by Fight Wax. Fight Wax is the ultimate skincare brand. They help treat cuts, scrapes, swelling, and abrasions, rejuvenates and restores stressed skin. Customers have used for soreness, stiffness recovery, designed for athletes of all active lifestyle, provides an ultra silky, non-greasy feel, deep hydration for everyday skincare, helps fight dry skins. Customers have used for psoriasis, eczema, and other skin disorders. And when you go to checkout, please make sure you're using that code SSFT15FW at fightwax.com. Go check it out. Go show the guys over there some love. That being said, a lot going on in the sports world right now, right? Thought the Sixers were dead in the Celtics series. Now we got pushed back to 6 games. Joel Embiid is recovered from his appendectomy. The Flyers and Penguins are going at it, and it's been interesting. Weird stuff has been going on with that series. I mean, it's a typical rivalry. Hockey playoffs are in full effect. NBA playoffs are in full effect. We're just through the first month of baseball, and 2 managers have been let go in a matter of a week. And then we got the NFL draft post-mortem. Who won? Who lost? Who got finessed? I mean, one thing's clear. Obviously, I'm not going to act like I'm not going to hide my Eagles bias, but Howie Roseman does it again, man. We'll get into the player part of it in a second, but the making a trade with Dallas to go up and get a skill position player, but not only doing that, they've probably gained multiple picks back. The fact that Pittsburgh was already on the phone with Lemon. Now, you know how, I don't know if you guys know how it is, but it's been kind of some of the conversations that have come about is that one of the things about that, unless you're on the clock, you cannot contact a potential draftee. And when the Eagles traded up to go get him and draft him, Pittsburgh was on the clock. Pittsburgh was on the phone with him. He couldn't answer the Eagles' call because he was on the phone with Pittsburgh. So more than likely, Eagles are going to get another pick out of that. Now, if the whole tampering thing with Rossini and Mike Vrabel actually happens, multiple picks out of that. That's crazy. That's crazy. But, I gotta talk to you, Marvin. You know I was gonna have to talk to you when we came on here today. We got your boy from USC. Matched them up there with Hollywood Brown. You got Devontae Smith. There's rumors going around that Lemon's already trying to offer him money for the number 6. I don't know if Devontae's going to let it go since he's already had it for 5 years now. And even longer than that, I think he's always been 6, right?
Yeah.
So now I want to know.
Man want to hide him. Yeah.
AJ Brown nonsense aside, let's forget about even AJ Brown's even on the team anymore, right? with the wide receiver core that's been put together, the new coaching staff that's put in place, hopefully you're healthy up front and you don't have Cam Jurgens and Landon Dickerson, rotating out there like there was a buffet on the sideline or something like that. Do you think, offensively wise, that they're in a better position now, regardless if A.J. Brown's on the roster or not?
Yeah. I think moving forward only because, I felt with A.J. Brown, especially last year, there's a lot of drama. Again, I don't like how the last game went for you guys. I think he dropped a couple balls, but didn't want to show up for the press
He
conference.
dropped 3 in that game alone.
Yeah.
And I'm glad you mentioned that because your boy, in 3 seasons, that's all he had. In 3 seasons, he had 3 drops. A.J. Brown had 3 drops just in that game. And it's not just that. It's just the overall thing about it. Like, I think what it was, week 4, week 5. Jalen Hurts had a perfect passer rating. Both AJ and Devontae were over 100 yards. Devontae actually destroyed them. I think he had like 180 yards receiving in that game. AJ Brown had 120, but after the game, he made that post about like using me but not using me type of thing, and that's when this whole thing started going that way. And I think the coaching staff and Jalen kind of appeased him to a point where they were trying to look for him instead of just scheme him open, give him the ball when he's open. And I think that changed how they were running that offense. Not only, let's forget the fact that Kevin Patullo was, playing Tecmo Super Bowl playbook where he had like 5 plays and that's all he ran. Let's put that aside. What AJ did, I think, was, how do I say this? It's almost like the norm for your star receivers anymore that you do this, and it's really not, because if you look at the quote unquote diva receivers, they always want the ball. It doesn't matter they win if your team win or loses. I get that to a point, but it shouldn't matter if you're consistently in the playoffs. If you're consistently, you got over 1,000-yard receiving, you're averaging almost 7 to 10 touchdowns a season. It shouldn't matter. That shouldn't matter. It should be a part of the team, right? And I think that's another reason why they go and get Lemon from USC is because he's not that guy that has this head and has this way of thinking about his game. He's a team first, not a player first guy. Do you think that's a fair statement?
That he's a team first guy?
Yeah.
I don't know if I would say that. But again, you're right about the diva receiver thing. I mean, that growing up, that's kind of that's what we saw, whether it's Keyshawn or Ocho Cinco. And these are guys who are productive. I mean, for as much as they, give you headlines and a little bit of drama, they show up to play. That's one thing you can't say about a lot of these dudes. And A.J. Brown, I think he's a very good receiver. I like him, big body dude. But like you said, he didn't show up for you guys when you guys needed him the most. And then at the end of that, after all the things that were said during the season, he doesn't want to do the interviews. So, when you ask me, do I think they'll be better without him, moving forward? Yeah. He's a guy that you have to account for when he's on the field. I mean, he's a productive receiver. There's a reason why, Vrabel is so high on this guy. But with Mekhi Lemon, you're getting a receiver, in my opinion, is as polished as you can get. And I think this is a guy who's going to fit very well into what you guys have, especially with Smith on the other side. I just mentioned Hollywood Brown. Obviously, we understand the running back and the quarterback. Lemon to me, is going to be a plug-and-play guy. I saw him play every play he had at USC, and you're right, 3 drops in his entire career. Lemon he's a football player that plays wide receiver. That's really what he is, and that's for me that's a very high compliment. I think he's an old school player, old school mentality. He runs the route tree very well, plays in space very well. He's physical at the line. He's not, even with his size, he's not somebody who you're going to be able to easily move. Now, in the NFL, those guys are stronger, obviously, better technicians. So there will be a challenge there. But this is a gift for the Philadelphia Eagles. For Eagles fans who are not aware, I mean, you are getting a textbook definition of a dog receiver. And listen, it blows my mind how Howie Roseman is able to year after year find a way to get the best players, young players, free agents. I mean, he's getting it done. And what he was able to do in the draft to secure Lemon, who, listen, you have people out there who thought he was the best receiver in the draft. I've heard a few pundits say that they thought he was number one, and I get that, especially considering how Tate played Carnell Tate, Ohio State played opposite of Jeremiah Smith. Smith's getting all the coverage, all right? So Tate should do what he did. And then the kid at Arizona State, Tyson, really good player, but a lot of injuries. He missed 1 out of 3 games while he was in college. That's a lot. That's a lot. And, if you're somebody who struggles with injuries in college, bruh, the NFL ain't nothing but grown men. You know what I mean? And it's just going to be that much tougher, I think. So they got to steal. They arguably got the number one receiver, and this is a playmaking dude. I mean, if you ever watch this guy play, his concentration on that ball, I mean, you can see him. Like, I tell my son, when you catch the ball, keep your eyes on the ball the whole time, right? Makai does that. He does a phenomenal job of that. He's a technician, as I said, with the dog mentality. And I look at the Detroit Lions, Amon St. Brown, Amon Ra. This is who he reminds me of, and I think he's more advanced than him. I think he's further ahead in the process than Brown. So for Howie Roseman, for the Philadelphia Eagles, for Eagles fans, I mean, celebrate this. This is a pick that you don't have to worry about if it's going to translate. This kid will be a plug-and-play player. You'll see him out there in the first game of the season for the Eagles in their top 3 rotation at receiver. So big-time guy, man. And I know they brought in some other free agents, Hollywood Brown. I think that Lemon's upside and just where he is in the process, I think he's way ahead of Hollywood Brown. And I like Hollywood Brown, but I think he's a limited receiver. Whereas with Lemon, even with his size, he can play every aspect of the position. So whether it's the deep ball, whether it's over the middle, screens, I mean, he does it all. He played defense for the Trojans, early in his career. Again, he's a football player that plays wide receiver, and he is a special player. Steve, I told you, I texted you on draft day. I told you that y'all hit a home run, man. I'm not lying. He's it. He's it. And I think
the thing I like the most about him, like everything you mentioned is great measurables, is great for the team, is that a lot of the highlights you're seeing is him going up and going to get in the ball and making those contested catches. He's not 6'6", 220 pounds, and he's actually, the body type, he's actually just slightly bigger than Devontae. So yeah. I mean, in my opinion, we got a playmaker, we got a burner, and we got guys that can stretch the field.
So, and he's more physical than Devontae. And I'm not knocking Devontae. Devontae's been in the league 5 years. He's established himself as a very good player in this league. But I think he's more physical. I mean, I can't stress it enough to you, Steve. This is a dog. I mean, this is a guy. Probably the steal of the first round, without question.
I think that's fair.
Yeah.
Mm-hmm. What about you? What about you, Ben? I know there's a couple guys that I think the Eagles did good on, and we'll get to some of the other teams and some of the other picks as we go through this. But knowing that AJ Brown, in a matter of less than 2 months, should probably be in New England or elsewhere, and you go and get yourself another quality receiver, guy on a rookie contract. And you're probably going to have him for 5 years or more. And not just that, you've seen the second round pick, right? The tight end, the kid from Vanderbilt.
Yeah.
So now you're going to have Dallas Goedert and Eli Stowers. And Eli Stowers was his position coach last season, or the receivers coach last season for Vanderbilt, was former Eagles Jordan Matthews. So I wonder how that connection got made. I think if this offense is going to be as good as I think it's going to be, AJ Brown's a fool for leaving. He's a fool for still playing on this hard. But Thoughts on Eli, obviously, because I'm going to get your tight end thoughts, but also Mekhi Lemon too.
I will say this about Lemon. I remember back when Keyshawn Johnson was the receiver for the Carolina Panthers, and he's doing that. And Wayne Jarrett out of SC got drafted, and that was Keyshawn Johnson's last play at the Carolina Panthers. A.J. Brown and any receiver needs to know this. When your production is high, tolerance, right, is high. They're going to tolerate a lot of what you do. When your production is low, tolerance is even lower. Here's the thing about Malachi Lemon that I like. Number one, everybody keep talking about these Ohio State receivers that's coming out, right? Amon St. Brown, SC. Jordan Addison, SC. Drake London, SC. Malachi Lemon. They putting them out all the time. Check this out. Malachi Lemon is Polynesian. Let me tell you something. Polynesian football players don't play, man. There's a Polynesian football player by the name of Troy Polamalu, and I'm trying to tell you, SC, them boys, they play for something different. And obviously they want to go out there and be the best player they can be. When Lemon got drafted to the Eagles, I said, dude, how did Howie Roseman do this again? And that is a direct, response to A.J. Brown to tell him, dude, what are we trying to get in the NFL? We're trying to get younger and cheaper. Now, obviously, you're going to have to still pay this young man because he's the first-round pick. But that should tell A.J. Brown, dude, we the Eagles. We going to win with or without you. And and here's another thing about Malachi. I'm talking, unanimous All-American? He won the freaking Blitnikoff. So this was the best receiver in football in 2025. Right? So when people start saying, man, you can ask any receiver. When this boy was walking around the combine, they was like, what's up, Malachi? They knew who he was already. Lincoln Riley is going to do two things. He's going to have a quarterback that's either going to win the Heisman or going to be a Heisman Trophy candidate, and he's going to have a dominant receiver. So I wasn't surprised that Malachi went there, and he's a guy that he's built to be an Eagle. I mean, hard hat type dude. Don't let the size fool you. Malachi can go out there. If it's in the air, it's his. That youngin' gonna snag it. And I think for a guy like Malachi is you want to go to a team that's already a bona fide winner, and you just a missing piece. You ain't the piece. Yeah, I mean, Devonta Smith. You talk about Malachi. You talk about Hollywood Brown. I think they got Elijah Moore. I think they got him. That's another guy in the slot that you can play and plug. Let me tell you what Malachi knows right now, dude. I'm not coming to the Eagles not knowing who these players are. Jalen Hurts, Saquon Barkley, Smith, Goddard. Yeah, I can fit right in. You can just put me right in there. And it's something I agree with something you said too, Marvin. He's a football player that plays with receivers. That's different. Certain guys just play the position. To give you, I'm gonna tell you who Malachi reminds me of as far as like his physicality. Steve Smith Sr. They physical. Really big. Not the biggest dudes, man, but they physical. And I think for Malachi, like I said, I think what he's doing is he said, look, I'm going to a gritty city, I'm going to a gritty team, and I already know what the expectation is. You got a receiver that can run the full route tree, that likes contact. He gonna learn a lot, man. That go Quinyon Mitchell and those guys, you know what I'm saying? They go Cooper and those guys. So Cooper DeJean, so he's gonna have plenty of good competition training camp. I do agree. When just like last year, man, y'all get the freaking linebacker out of Alabama. I'm like, dude, how does Howie keep doing this? Like he just sits back, lets people, and you know what? Here's the thing. If the AJ Brown situation doesn't happen the way it happens, Malachi goes earlier. But he kind of got it was so many. I mean, I think this was a receivers draft. You had some really, really good receivers. And I was wondering what Malachi was. And I was, because, I'm looking at the draft. I said, what? I said, wait a minute. The Eagles got who? Lemon? Man, shut the draft off. Cut it off. I don't want to see no more of the first round. Because that's what the draft is about. Give me the guy who, you know how many teams have forgot? Because everybody getting caught up. Oh, Ty Simpson. Oh, my God. He went to the Rams. Oh, man. Cardell Tate is going to go number 4. Jeremiah Love goes number 3 to the Cardinals. And Howie just sit like this. Thanks a lot, Pittsburgh. You just gave the Eagles even more picks. Thanks a lot. Mike McCarthy. You know you can do that, Mike McCarthy? Mm-hmm. You don't know that boy gonna be on national TV when he get drafted. He's a top 20 pick. Anyway, it's Pittsburgh. So yeah, great pick up. And I think for a guy like Malachi, when I come in and I can just play football, I don't got to be the guy. Oh man, he gonna hurt people's feelings. That boy, he gonna hurt people's feelings. And like I said, I respect. At one point, it was Clemson receivers. They coming out. Then it was LSU. They coming out. Then now it's Ohio State. Don't sleep on SC. There isn't a better receiver in the league than Amon St. Brown. Right? Drake London is about as good. I was wrong about him coming out of SC. Right? Now, I mean, wait a minute. Now Jordan Addison. You know what Jordan Addison did at Pitt? He wanted to freaking Blitnikoff left and went over there with Lincoln Riley. Now he's at Minnesota. Now here comes Malachi. Hey, the best, I want to say the best wide receiver draft ever was 96. Who was the number one pick in that draft? Keyshawn. Keyshawn was the number one pick in 96. So not the two SC's home, but they've been doing it for a long time. So shout out to that youngin. If you are in the NFC East, good luck.
But here's the other thing. Now
I want to know how did the phone call end with Pittsburgh? He's on the phone with Pittsburgh.
He's on the phone, right? And they show him.
Good luck.
And then in the background, you see the Eagles have traded the pit with Dallas, right? He's on the phone, right? And then, like, I guess he heard the ring, so he's like looking at the phone, and like they, obviously they broke it down. And he's like, "Why is Philly calling me?" And someone was tapping him on the shoulder, like, look behind you. Philadelphia's traded for the pick. So, like, I guess, like, he hung up, switched lines, whatever, and that's when Howie Roseman got on the phone.
Yeah.
So, basically, because Pittsburgh jumped the gun, they assumed that Dallas wasn't going to pick a wide receiver and that they were going to take a pick there, not trade out of it. So, they preemptively jumped the gun and got on the call, like, we're going to take you at 21. And as they're talking, the picks gets traded. Eagles draft them. Boom, boom, boom. Not only do you steal Pittsburgh's pick, but now you're going to get them for tampering now. It was on national television. There is an investigation going on if there were tampering or rules broken. So the Eagles are going to get more picks out of that, without a doubt.
Whatever happened in the tampering, it's the norm. That's just, we just saw some of it on national TV live. You know what I'm saying? But y'all know that as it pertains to the draft and the trades and insider stuff, that's been going on since the beginning of time. It's a normal part of the culture, even though it's not right. But like I said, I wonder if there were civil pleasantries at the end of that conversation with Pittsburgh. Did he say, "Okay, guys, good luck, I'm out"? You know what I'm saying? And hang up. How lucky is Mekhi Lemon to go to a team who is one of the best teams in the NFL, whereas typically when you're a top player and you're projected to go early, you go to a horrible organization, right? This dude is going to a team who's going to compete not just for the division, but for the Super Bowl. Howie has Philly built like that. So, man, this is just for as many people who say that he failed and what happened, how could he go this late? Man, Mekhi Lemon is popping champagne, happy about this pick, y'all. He has a quarterback. He has a GM who knows what he's doing. He has an owner who knows what he's doing. He's going to a formidable opponent. A formidable team. This is just money in the bank for him, man. So, yeah, I expect this kid to do well, Steve. I really do.
I mean, I do too. I don't expect him to go and break rookie records or anything like that. But the fact that their receiver room, including the tight ends, is significantly deep with guys that can stretch the field, guys that can make plays. It's what I said a few weeks. I don't think there's going to be a receiver this year in Philadelphia that's going to see more than 5 targets.
We'll see. Yeah.
We'll see, because I mean, obviously, if the offensive line is clicking and Saquon is looking like he did 2 years ago, there might be a power struggle in the play calling room. Are we going to go run heavy? Are we going to go pass heavy? It could be a real question, especially because both Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens went out of the country to get stem cells injected in their bodies. Both of them had 2 procedures this offseason. Both of them.
Which leads me to all these skill players that they got. At the end of the day, if Lane Johnson and the rest of that O-line ain't healthy and intact, it means nothing. what you have on the outside, man. And that's your point. And as you were talking, I was thinking about Lane Johnson. Man, they need him. They need the rest of them dudes, because if not, I mean, you saw Saquon last year. People were knocking Saquon, talking about, is it him? Has he lost a step? And at the end of the day, I think the injuries are front.
At it, both Landon Dickerson and Cam Jurgens were getting beat like mules, and just because they weren't getting off the ball because they were hurt. That Cam Jurgens had a ruptured disc so bad that it had detached. Is according to what he said, the interview that I heard. And that's why he'd gotten the stem cells. So we'll see what their play like is going to be up front on the offensive line, what the health is going to be like. It's an interesting thing. I'm not going to sit there and say this team's going to win 14 games. No. You still got a first place schedule. I don't think you're going to have what you had last year, where you didn't have back-to-back home games at all. But I do think that they're going to have another rough schedule. So
but you got the y'all. No one's talking about Jonathan Grenard, man. He's a dude.
Yeah, that was the other part of it, because now you don't have to go and find an edge rusher, and they were able to go get what was the lineman from Miami that they went and got.
You talking about the one they traded away?
No, they got him.
They drafted him.
I mean,
yeah. I'm forgetting his name.
Mangua? Is it Mangua?
No. What we're not talking about enough is, I know we talking about Malachi Lemon, right? Malachi Lemon was a unanimous All-American. He won the Blitnikoff. Eli Stowers, right? What did he win? The second round pick. He won the John Mackey. He was a unanimous All-American. Let me get this straight. You got the John Mackey Award winner in the second round. You got the Blitnikoff winner in the first round. They're gonna hurt people, man. Yeah. They are going to hurt people, because
and then not only that, don't mean to keep going on to the Eagles draft, but they also drafted a guy with their first 7th round pick that was going to be like a Jordan Mailata situation. Has never taken a snap in the NFL before as part of that overseas program that the NFL has been doing it. This guy has better combine numbers than Myles Garrett. He's bigger than Myles Garrett. All that, listen, you still have to get him in there, and you still have to coach him up. This guy isn't going to make a difference for a few years. But if it is another situation like it was with Jordan Mailata, watch out, because he's a big boy, a big boy.
So, Steve, you saying that they got a guy that has great measurables but hasn't played football?
Yeah,
that's not. I'm gonna tell you right now that you got a lot. Okay, you have a lot of dudes who are probably as big as Myles Garrett around the world, who can run fast, jump high, and lift a lot of weights. But when you put them pads on and you put them out there, you realize they probably basketball players, right, Ben? You know what I'm saying? Like, I mean,
they statues, man. You look good, but you don't do nothing. Yeah, man. I mean, it's gonna be a different world. We gonna do this every year with the Eagles, man. Howie Roseman knew that Pittsburgh was gonna call Malachi. You will be very, very shocked at how close every team draft board is, as far as like who they want. So they know who's gonna get what. They was like, Pittsburgh gonna call Malachi because they think they gonna get him at 21. We gonna trade up to 20, and we gonna get tampering, and we gonna get Malachi, and we're gonna send AJ to New England, and we're gonna get compensation for that, and we traded for Jonathan Grenard, who just signed a $100 million deal, $50 million guarantee. Shout out to that Florida boy. Markel Bell. Oh, okay. No. Look, I'm sitting there watching the draft, and some of these picks, I go, When Malachi came off the board, I said, dude, I'm done. Because people are like, what is that? I said, dude, I'm telling you, man, you don't know who Malachi Lemon is? Turn on the tape. Ask anybody that went up against him. These SC receivers, man, they said, listen, man, don't nobody care about that burner stuff. Do I catch the rock? Yeah. Do I get first down touchdowns? Yeah. Okay. I mean, all that cute stuff, all the yak and all that stuff. Do I get open consistently on 1 high, 2 high, double coverage, off, press. Yep. That's a receiver. I don't want no receiver that's a one-trick pony. Oh, yeah, man, he can catch a deep ball. Can he run a slant? Can he run a comeback? Can he run a dig? Can he get open on third and fourth when everybody knows the ball going to him with a safety over? Yeah, all right, we're drafting. Because if you are number one and you can't get open on two people, you ain't gonna last long. You got to get open on two. That corner in front of you, nothing against you, sir, but that safeties play safeties because they can't play corner, and corner can't catch. So let's do it. Let's go out there and get. That was a great pick, man. I was trying to downplay it, but I was like, God. I thought Malachi was already gone, and he wasn't. He pissed.
Lost in the shuffle.
And
the funny part about that is, I don't know if you guys seen it after they made that pick. Howie Roseman was like, "Listen, I'm going to take a couple walks around the stadium. Don't call me until we're about 10 picks away from our next pick." So he couldn't make any more trades.
Yeah. I tell you what, man.
I mean,
trade, is 2 and maybe one of the later rounds to kind of get back up in there and get somebody else. That even tells you how crazy Howie is about it. Like he's the ultimate book nerd, and he you got to remember, like when Chip Kelly basically demoted him and literally put him in a broom closet. That was his office, a broom closet. He just started hitting, hitting film, watching prospects and stuff like that. So this is what
he knew that Chip Kelly wasn't going to be around. He'll say, Chip Kelly, he won't be around. It's cool. I mean, you got
to his lumps of just like I'll just do research for this season, this upcoming season. Listen, he's lately he's been hitting on just about everything. We don't know how these guys are going to play out. The later rounds guys play out, etc. But the upcoming trade, and I want to ask you guys about this. Like, obviously, it's been the talk for basically almost 10 months now. This whole AJ Brown thing. If you're Howie Roseman right now, Marvin, regardless if there's a deal on the table, if you could find a way not to give him to a rival and or New England, are you entertaining anything outside of that? Just to say, F you kid, you're not going here?
Well, I mean, these guys obviously don't like to trade within the division, especially when you have a premium player. But, I think for Howie, man, I think it's just about getting value. What's the highest level of value you can get? I think that's really what it comes down to. That's how I would be thinking. I wouldn't be worried about, just because of, again, AJ Brown is a good player. I respect him as a player.
He's arguably top 5 right now in the NFL. He may be just outside.
Top 5, top 10. Yes.
Top 10, top 5 and top 10 are two different things. I would say top 10 over top 5, to be honest with you, based on how he ended the last game, which y'all needed. I mean, what the hell? What's the use of
it wasn't even. But Marvin, if you go back and look at some of those games, there was plays like in games that they were close to, and Jalen's trying to throw him balls, and he's cutting up short on his route, and like.
That's what I'm saying.
It wasn't just that game with drops. There was multiple games there where he was checked out. He wasn't even there.
Yeah.
So he's complaining about it, the plays being run, how many looks he's getting, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. But at the end of the day, he wasn't 100% there for his teammates. Meanwhile, he has a freaking C on his chest.
Yeah. So again, Howie in the Eagles organization, they know the reality of where A.J. Brown is at in his career. Obviously, as I said, I think a lot of people in Philly are sour off of how he performed in that last game. And, we keep I think a lot of this is we're still talking about, maybe what he did in Tennessee and the potential of what he could be. He's made big plays, but is he a consistent player? Is he the guy who, that you can count on, to catch this pass, to do all these things? I don't know if he's that guy anymore, man. I don't know if it's his head. I don't know. But I think his value has dropped. And I think Howie Roseman is going to take advantage of all the hype that still surrounds AJ's name and get what he can, period. You know what I'm saying? If he goes to the NFC East, oh, well. You know what I'm saying? I think it's about value, man. I do. I don't think Howie looks at it as him losing this premier dude because when you mention the other top receivers in the NFL, top 5, that's tough for me. That's tough for me. It is. I'm not gonna lie. That's a tough spot. Top 10, I give him.
4 years, he had 2 seasons where he had over 1,400 yards.
What did he do last? Again, what did he do last season? How did that season end? You talk about he has a C on his chest. He has a C on his chest.
7 touchdowns. He
don't want to be there, Steve. He don't want to be there. He don't want to be there, Steve. He don't.
I know he doesn't want to be there.
Listen, you don't want nobody who don't want to be with you.
We can say all we want. That this was brewing for more than a few years. He can say whatever he wanted to. The book nonsense on the sideline. I think part of him maybe even jealous of Devontae catching the dagger to break the Chiefs. Those things play at a guy that has a self-perception of himself and how he values himself on that team. So I think he kind of felt spurned a little bit, and it started melting into the field. Regardless of how you feel about it, as long as you show up for your team and you give 110% for your team, most people just like, listen, AJ wants to be the man. Like, I'm not going to fault him for wanting to be the man. We still won, but I think it's a multitude of things, like how he was going about things, the nonsense he was pulling. The Minnesota game sticks in my craw because they beat the number 1 pass defense that week. At that point in time, Minnesota's pass defense was the best in the league. And both AJ and Devontae got off. And it still wasn't good enough. So it was like at that point in time, it's like, what else can I do? And that's like what I was trying to tell you guys earlier. That's when there was a systematic change on how they were going about looking at passing the ball. And I think that's ultimately what spelled it. You can't do that. Like, I get you have to appease your star player to a point, but not to the point where it's at the detriment of winning and losing. So, I mean, wherever he lands, regardless if we feel, he's declining his stats, there's rumors going around that, he's got chronic knee injuries. He hasn't fucking had any knee injuries here in Philadelphia. He's had hamstring injuries. He's had soft tissue injuries. He hasn't had knee problems. So it's like, I think that's a part of what I was already talking about, the tampering with A.J. Brown. We'll get into that as we get closer to the potential trade and what the compensation is and all that. But he's going to have to change his mentality of how he goes. Dude, he thinks he's going to be any better in New England? Like, really? Drake May's an amazing quarterback. He took them to the Super Bowl. He had Stephon Diggs there, who he didn't have a bad year last year. So what's going to happen when they got those heavy snow days up there in New England and they can't pass the ball?
So I will say this, changing your work environment can do a lot to your mental, to your confidence and everything else. Going somewhere where you feel like you're going to be celebrated and appreciated can really make a player, a person feel different and produce different. I think that's a real thing. And, I think Vrabel's a big fan of AJ. I think, directly, indirectly, he's let that be known. And that could do a lot for his confidence.
They've been texting. And that's the other thing. They've been texting.
Vrabel trying to get that get back. I know what Vrabel's doing. And the league going to let him do it, man.
That's what sent Mike Vrabel out of Tennessee. That was the straw that broke Mike's back. And he was probably like, F this, man. I'm giving away my playmakers. What am I going to do with this? So
I mean, AJ wanted 20 mil. Coming out of Tennessee wanted 20.
Should help bring in new life with AJ. But also, AJ made it known, like, this was his home. This is where he wanted to be. When he signed that second contract, that's what the Eagles also valued him to the point where they made sure both him and Devontae got paid again. So he got a contract when he got traded here, and then in 4 years, he got 2 contracts out of Philadelphia. But I think the other thing is, I don't know if you guys seen this, C.J. Gardner-Johnson was like, the Eagles fan has turned on A.J. Brown. Oh, no. No. We didn't turn on A.J. He turned on us. And it technically wasn't him turning on us. It's us seeing that he doesn't want to be here anymore, so he isn't getting the same amount of love from all of us. I don't think the Eagles fan turned on it. And CJ needs to watch that because CJ does like to get involved with things, and sometimes he just be quiet.
He's trying to be a good team.
Eagles fans turn their back on AJ Brown. I think they're seeing the writing. And it just be like, listen, we already experienced Taylor Owens. We're not going through this again.
See, Philly fans is mean though. You know what I mean? And if he feels
they honest, boy. They honest. They honest. A Philly fan, okay, it's like this with AJ, right? Everybody always say, man, money is the root of all evil. Money is the root of all evil. Money gonna show you who you really are. So, nah, time and circumstance gonna show you who you really are. Give it time and watch the circumstance change. Watch what happens, right? Because a bunch of people getting money is different. It's relative. Certain people, money is 100K. Somebody else is 100 million. Here's the thing about AJ Brown. AJ Brown wants his stats. Period. Now, the Eagles want to win. The Eagles. AJ, because here's the thing, Marv, here's the thing, Steve. If he getting his stats and they losing, it ain't his fault. But if he ain't getting his stats, right, and they winning, he got a problem with that. Hey, man, I don't want to just be another guy because, like I say, this notion that, let me tell you something, winning games is good for the team. My individual production is good for me. That's how I get more money. I don't get more money if the team is winning. I get more money if I'm contributing. Here's the thing about AJ, though. In 2025, every time they forced him to football, y'all lost. Every time they tried to force feed him, y'all lost those games. And here's what AJ don't want to talk about. And you said it, Marv. I don't care how many catches you got. Did you make the catch? Did you make the one that counted? I was doing a podcast one time, man, and I got to talk about Brandon Marshall, the receiver. And the guy I was talking to was a big Brandon Marshall fan. And the guy says, he says to me, he said, True, but I don't think you're in a position to talk about Brandon Marshall, man. I mean, his career compared to your career, I said 3 catches. He said, I had 3 in the playoffs. Brandon Marshall never made the playoffs. So you telling me a number 1 receiver never elevated any team he was on to get to the playoffs? Not Denver, not Chicago, right? Not the Jets. He never did. That doesn't mean he wasn't a beast. It's what you said, Marv. Hey, man, it ain't how many catches you made. Did you make the catch? Exactly. Because if Jimmy Garoppolo hits Emmanuel Sanders in the Super Bowl, they probably win the Super Bowl. He missed it. If Russell Wilson audible out of that dumb play on the goal line and handed off to Marshawn, they back-to-back Super Bowl champions, and they beat Peyton Manning and freaking Tom Brady. So with A.J. Brown, let me tell you what A.J. Brown's experienced. A.J. Brown forgot, dude, when you bad for business, you got to go. And you know what? A.J. Brown better hope they don't trade him in the NFC East. Because guess what they know about A.J.? They know what you good at, and they know what you're not good at. They know when Quinn Young and them boys that say, look, man, because Howie Roseman will say, look, if we trade him to like the Giants or what, it'll be him, Malik Neighbors. You know what I'm saying? Cool. Can the Giants beat the Eagles? Nope. If they can't beat them now, they can't beat it with AJ. The Commanders can't beat them now, they can't beat it with AJ. Now, if he go to Dallas, that's a little different. With CD and George.
I said I would entertain that only if you're giving us Pickens. If you're giving us Pickens and picks, all right, cool. Take AJ. Take AJ.
If I'm gonna say this, I'm gonna say this right now. What is this? I don't know what episode. If Howie Roseman trades AJ Brown and y'all get George Pickens, I'm gonna beat the hell out of Howie. I'm like, Howie, I'm sick of you. And he went to Florida. He's a Florida guy. Because to me, right? Because here's the thing. Let me tell you why that makes sense. Dallas, just like the Philadelphia, they leaving George. They don't want to give him a long-term contract. They'll get they franchise. They don't want to give him a term. So Howie goes, hey man, come over here, man. I'll give you I can give you AJ Brown type money if you come over here. That better not happen, man. That better not.
I don't think it's going to happen. I think we've seen the only Eagles and Dallas trade that we're going to see this season. There's a couple other things that happened in the draft this week. we got them talking Raiders. I'm going to bring up the Raiders because obviously, the kid that's where Mendoza went. Here's the breakdown of the 2-star recruits. number 1 overall pick of the Las Vegas Raiders. This is what his pay's going to look like. He's getting paid $72 a minute, $4,300 an hour, and 104K per day to be the Las Vegas Raiders starting quarterback. I'm gonna start off with Marvin on this one. I know you were talking a little Raiders on some shows this week. Do you think Mendoza is going to finally get them back to the play?
It won't be just him. It won't be just him. So with that said, what we're hoping is this. We're hoping that the Raiders don't treat this like Houston treated the David Carr situation. First round overall pick, goes to Houston. They don't have a plan for him. He's in there out the gate. He gets sacked, 70 times in the first couple of years or something crazy like that. The quarterback is the most important position in sports. On the team, you're the leader, you're the dog, you're the general. So you got to have that type of guy in place. And I think he has that mixed with a lot of humility and gratitude, which is important, I think, for that position. But they got to shore up the offensive line. They got to make sure that Ashton Gentry, that he's a big part of that offense. They got to make sure that Brock Bowers is a big part of that offense. They got to make sure that they got a pass rusher in Crosby and a cover corner who can help give the offense back the ball. They need to make sure that they have an offensive play caller who knows how to take care of his quarterback, take advantage of his skill set, and not put him in horrible situations. So when you talk about turning an organization around, yeah, it starts with the quarterback. It does. And I do think that this kid, from what I've seen, I think he has, the mental makeup and the physical talent that you need for that position. Plus, I am comforted by the fact that, Tom Brady signed off on this. Tom knows what it's supposed to look like. Tom sat down with this kid guy in his head. So that's a big deal. So, for the Raiders to turn it around, the first step is getting your general right. And they got a guy in there. And what's even better is they got a guy who, listen, I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I know Ben feels a little different from his days as a Falcon fan. I'm a Kirk Cousins fan. I am. Probably because he did so well for me in fantasy football over the years. Nevertheless, I think Kirk's the right type of dude you want in there teaching your young
I
buck.
agree with that. He's the veteran you need. He's the veteran
Absolutely.
you need. So you don't have to push him right in there.
Exactly.
You give Kirk, 6 to 10 games. Fernando starts picking up things that he needs to pick up, and he wins the job on the practice field. Over Kirk.
Yeah, Kirk's been.
Go ahead.
I mean, Kirk's kind of been through it, man. He's he came out as a seventh round draft pick. This dude's made like $400 million, something like that. He's had some really good years, but he answers to a higher calling, and I think that his leadership style, mixed in with his experience, his demeanor, is going to be nothing but beneficial for Fernando. So, to answer your question, the first step for the Raiders getting over the hump is getting the quarterback position right. And at this point in the game, I would bet that they got the position right. So I feel good about that, man. We got to see what their head coach does as a leader. I think this is his first stint as a head coach. It's different when you're in the passenger seat versus driving the car. Okay, so I think it's Kubiak's their head coach, I believe. So we'll see what he does with it, man. But I think Mendoza's the guy, man. Especially when you look at his come up. Came out of Miami, went to high school in Miami, wasn't heavily recruited. Goes to Cal Berkeley, does well, goes to obviously Indiana and does what he does there. So this is a kid who's only ascended. He's only answered the call. He's only done well when put in certain situations. And I think with the Raiders, it should be no different if they intelligently build around him, which I think they're trying to do. So,
yeah, I think they're going to be all right there. What are your thoughts, Ben? You think Mendoza's going to be the guy that finally gives the Las Vegas Raiders a playoff win before his rookie contract is up? I'll be even more clear about that. It doesn't have to be this season. It doesn't have to be before his rookie contract is up. Mendoza will have a playoff win for the Las Vegas Raiders.
Here's the reason why I think that's going to be extremely difficult. I give you 3 reasons. I give you Bo Nix. I give you Herbert. And I give you this dude named Patrick Mahomes. That's who's in that. That's the quarterbacks you got to deal with, right? Here's the only way Fernando Mendoza gonna have a shot to win. They're gonna have to change the culture. I played for the Raiders in 2008. You know who was the quarterback? The number 1 overall pick, Jamarcus Russell. You know who was their running back? Darren McFadden. You know who was the head coach? Lane Kiffin. You know who was the starting cornerbacks? Nnamdi Asomugha and D'Angelo Hall, right? You had a really, really good team, but the culture was so bad. It was so bad out there. Now, is Fernando Mendoza a guy that you could build around? Yes, because he's going to say the right things. He's going to do the right things. He don't want to be a distraction, and he's not going to be. But behind that, I mean, he looked just like Woody off of Toy Story. That's what he looked like every time I see him. The dude can play. He's a competitor, right? Here's why you got to like a guy like Fernando Mendoza. How you come into this league has a lot to do with how you're going to go about it. No one really wanted this dude. Let's call it. What they call the movie? The Island of Misfit Toys. That was Indiana. Who no one wanted those dudes, but Kurt Signetti, and they went out there and won that thing, right? I think they had 8 or 9 draft picks. Fernando Mendoza, with his star-studded, it was a bunch of skill position guys in this draft. He went number 1. When you got a guy like Kirk Cousins who knows I am here to mentor this young man, I know what I'm here to do. That's what's going to make him better. Because let me tell you what every great player in the NFL, I don't care who he is, has had. They had a mentor. Every last one of them had one, right? Steve Smith Senior, we were talking about him earlier, he had Musa Muhammad. Jason Pierre-Paul and Justin Tucker and those guys, right? They had, and I see him in Europe, they had Michael Strahan. They had a guy that's been doing it and say, dude, this is how you do it. Say what you want about Kirk Cousins. Kirk Cousins was in the same draft as RG3, who went on to win the Rookie of the Year, who is now commentating, and Kirk Cousins still making money. Kirk Cousins is the only quarterback that since after his 3rd year in the NFL, he's only made guaranteed money. He went franchise tag, went to Minnesota, guaranteed money. We gave him $90 million in 2024. We'll talk about that. The Falcons gave him $90 million. Anyway, I like Fernando Mendoza for this reason. I look at the way his teammates talk about it. The way he played against Miami. Think about this. The Miami Hurricanes, home of Ray Lewis and Warren Sapp and Ed Reed and Reggie Wayne and Andre Johnson and Santana Moss, and the list goes on and on and on, have not won a national championship since 2001. And they thought they were going to get them one at home in Hard Rock. Fernando said no. You know why? Because I'm from Miami. I grew up wanting to be a Hurricane. I mean, listen. I mean, the freaking head coach went to school with my daddy, and I still didn't get. All right. Behind this $1 million smile, I don't like none of y'all, and I'm coming for all y'all. So for being a former Raider, I want to see the Raiders get back to the playoffs. But it ain't these players, man. It's the culture of the Raiders. Raiders have had a bunch of good players. Max Crosby, Ashton Jeanty, you talking about Fernando Mendoza, you talking about Brock Bowers. They've got good players. It's the freaking culture. And if they get the culture right, I think they go. I'm going to say this. There are certain teams in the NFL, if the culture gets right, look out. The Jets is a team like that. The Raiders are a team like that. The Browns are a team like that. The Cardinals are a team like that. When you get your culture right, it's like this. The Golden State Warriors ain't have no freaking culture until freaking Steph and them got there. Now people talk about Golden State like they was the Bulls in the 90s. Because look at what they're doing. That's what I'm not saying Fernando Mendoza is Steph Curry. Because I know people say you compare him. I'm not. I'm saying every single team, in order for them to have a shift in their dynamic, you got to have a quarterback with a culture, with a scheme, with a team. That's how it goes. And if you get all those things, I think you got a shot. Because like I say, people are about how bad it is, including that quarterback. Look at the Raiders. They had Carson Palmer. He never been to Oakland. Well, he went to Oakland. It's just I'm rooting for this young man. I really, really am. Because I think certain teams, when they're good, it's good for the NFL as a whole. And the Raiders is one of those teams, man. I mean, you know how crazy it was when I was with the Raiders. They bring it back. You know what I'm saying? Jake the Snake and those guys, and Casper and those guys. Back when the Raiders was the Raiders. Man, please. Man, the Raiders was so bad when I was there in 2008. I got there in week 3. I was on the Bucs for the first 2 weeks. I got cut. Tried out for the Falcons. Didn't make the, and then they flew me to Oakland, and I became an Oakland Raider. Literally in week 3, I got there in week 3, and I was there longer than Lane Kiffin. Lane Kiffin got fired after 8 weeks. That's how bad the culture is. So they get that culture right. I think the silver and black, man, I think they're going to have something to say. And I think Fernando Mendoza is going to be the guy to get them back there because it's been a long time. They've been the laughing stock in the AFC for a long time. In the AFC West, yeah, it's been a long time, man. Can't stand Patrick Mahomes, can't stand Justin Herbert, can't stand Bo Nix. Not as people, but as players, because they're going to keep the Raiders as bottom feeders. If they want to get back to some level of respectability, they better rally around this young man because the consolation prize for being the number one pick means you going to the worst team the previous year. You make a bunch of money, but you go to the worst team. So, but I do think Fernando Mendoza is a player. They don't just hand Heisman's out. That man won the Heisman. That man went undefeated, and that man ran the gauntlet. Ohio State, Oregon, Miami, stop playing. They played some big time and beat them all. So, hey, man, I'm rooting for him. I am. I ain't never been to Vegas. I ain't never been to Vegas before in my life. I'm going to get out there so I can see the Raiders. I'm happy I didn't go when I had no money because I don't like gambling because I don't like losing. But I'm going to have to probably get out there, man, to that spaceship-looking stadium. I want to see them boys win, man. Best uniform combination in the league to me. Silver and black don't get better than that. I know certain people may feel different, but because we got two gentlemen that both like green and white on here. Both. You know what I'm saying?
I don't put the Raiders in there. Listen, the two ultimate color combinations, I talked about it on the JNS Philly Sports Stop, is the Eagles Kelly Green and Tampa Bay Buccaneers creamsicle jerseys. I think those are the two best colors. If you can name me another one, put in the argument.
Titans.
The Titans when they got them powder blues. You know like
See, now I am partial to powder blue just because of the Phillies powder blues. I don't like if I'm like on the game system playing, I'm always putting the Phillies in the powder blues. So I do feel you there. Especially when they do the powder blues with the Oiler throwback.
Well, you know what? The reason why it doesn't matter because they're not good. Colors only matter when the teams are good. When the team is bad,
they ain't that good either.
Remember when they did them color rush uniforms? They had the color rush, and the Titans.
The only time I like the color rush is like they put one team on black and another one in white. Like that was the only time.
When they did the color rush and the Titans played the Jazz, that was the worst game ever. Type in, listen, when we get off, go to YouTube, type in the Titans versus Jags color rush. It looks like the Smurfs versus the Mustards. It was awful. It was awful to watch.
The Smurfs versus the Mustards. Oh, man. So a couple more draft stuff I wanted to get to you. Did you guys see that I guess a streamer got himself kicked out of the ever going to an NFL event ever again?
Oh, yeah.
I think I heard about that. Yeah, these people want attention.
So basically, a YouTube personality crashed the draft stage saying he was the guy that was supposed to announce the pick. Obviously, they found it out fairly quickly, got him out of there. But the NFL dropped the hammer down and was like, listen, not only are you not allowed to come to the NFL draft ever again, you're not allowed to come to any NFL event ever again. So there goes his YouTube career.
But how are they going to monitor that at a game? Are they using facial recognition at these stadiums?
They could probably do that. Like they probably have it list. Like if these, you'd have to guess that's more than a handful of people that it's got to put up there in the security office. Like if you see these faces, immediately escort them out. Because obviously you could buy a ticket third party or something like that where they don't know that you got the tickets. You know what I mean?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. So it's.
Yeah,
they
paint their face. There's ways he can get in, man. Let's be honest.
I've worked the draft before, but here's the thing, right? Here's the thing. Whoever this young man is, it ain't gonna work in your favor, man. Like we live in a viral-driven world. Like, last year, it was the defensive coordinator for the Falcons' son, Colin Shador. Let me tell y'all something, man. And I am not promoting violence. Let me just start by that. But some of us ain't never been beat up. Some of us ain't never been punched in our face. You can tell. I'm telling you, if you've ever been in a fight before, it changes your reality because you start saying, wait, yeah, man, like certain people, they too safe out here. Think about this for a second. Whoever let that young man even get in that close, they fired. Whoever let him get that close, because you don't know what he's going to do. if he get out there trying to make a mockery, number one, man, the NFL draft is the draft. Nothing against the NBA. We don't know nobody. The NHL draft be going on.
You're spot on right there. To tell me any one of the major sports that has a draft that has more hype around it ain't the Major League Baseball draft. That's mid-season, right?
Nope.
NHL draft, nope. The only
Nope.
one that may have some type of buzz behind it, it's the NBA draft, right? Let's be honest with that, right?
But we don't know. But we don't know most of those players because they're international.
Other sporting events drafting the next future stars that is as big as the NFL.
Yeah, but Steven, here's the thing with that young man, right? I'm gonna go back to this again. Mm-hmm. Somebody was supposed to jack him before he leave. Like when they walk behind the camera, somebody was supposed to jack him up. Somebody to let him know, dude, this. Do you know what consequences are? Do you know what you just did to my job, youngin? Now I can't put hands on him, but he got to know. Because I think people, it's like this. When you in the National Football League, and Marv, I don't know if you dealt with this. Some of these coaches, man, they get to talking to you like you ain't a professional athlete, like you ain't a man. And you look at him like, wait a minute, coach. Now, I ain't talking about the head coach now. I'm talking about your position coach, offensive coordinator, defensive coordinator, special teams coordinator. You have to say, hey, coach, yeah, you listen, you could just talk to me now. We men. You don't do that. Because if you can't talk to me like that in private, you can't talk to me like that in public. You wouldn't talk to me like that if it was just you and me. This young man said, I'm gonna get rid like a streaker or something. Let me tell you something. Somebody was supposed to put the fear guard in that youngin' to say, hey, go tell your little streaming community. They're gonna get effed up. Listen to me. Do not think about this. We just say stuff backwards, right? Right? That young man say, I hope something don't happen. Black guy comes and say, I wish he would. Try me. I don't like stuff like this, man. I don't like it. There's too much goes this way. Trying to make it fun.
He wasn't using any common sense that day.
Yeah, it's kind of like, and I know it's a far stretch, and as Ben said, we don't advocate for violence here, but it's kind of like that dude who ran up in the White House Correspondents' Center. It's like, what were you thinking was going to happen before you said go? Like what end result did you think? How is this going to be a win for you in a day and age? I mean, you know what I'm saying? Like, so, and I don't know the reality of how it ended for the dude who rushed the stage. I didn't see that any live video, but I'm surprised that with the most powerful man in sports, Roger Goodell, and all of these high-end elite athletes, that could have been tragic for that young man. I mean, it could have been tragic for that young man. Yeah, you know, so it's like, what are you thinking? Like, are we so pressed for fame that we willing to put ourselves out there in situations where you got high-end security? I don't know where he was at when he went on the stage, but I mean, you got to have some real kahunas.
Hold on. It's like Marv. It's like this. Just say me, you, Steven. You know, we on the red carpet.
They would have shot me and you.
You know, and they're gonna interview people on the red. Listen. And we on the red carpet. And Marv, we listen. We grown men. We got wives. We got kids. We pay bills. We pay taxes. But somebody say something slick to you, Marv. Listen, as professional as you are, something in you make you say, when you do this is the warning. Hey man, stop playing with me. Like you don't play with. You suited and booted. You know what I'm saying? I think sometimes these youngins, they've never felt danger for real. They don't think it's gonna happen to them. We grew up knowing, hey man, we don't play with each other like that. You don't talk about a man's woman. You don't talk about his kids. You don't talk about his money. You don't call him a liar. You don't slap him. You don't spit on him. Marvin, listen, the Jets pick coming up, right? Marvin Powell III is getting ready, and this youngin trying to play. You know what you're gonna say? Where he at? Let me see him. Because you want him to see you. I can see. I want you to see me looking at you to say, boy, ooh, you lucky. Because you know, we can't really react the way we want to now. We can't really say what we really want to say because we got, you know, people behind us that depend on us. But behind the scenes, something needs to happen. And not necessarily, young man. People listen, you're going to try to make a mockery on the biggest day in sports when you talk about like non-athletic. This is like the ESPYs, the football award, the football honors. We got the draft. Hey man, I'm as soon if I'm not gonna be work security, but I'm like, hey bro, what you doing? What's your name? I got the pick. What you mean? Roger Goodell do the picks in the first round, man. What you talking about? Yeah. What's your name again? Man, come with me. Take him around that corner. Hey boy, take him, man. Take that youngin out of here, man. Before I do something to him, because I don't like that, man. You want to be famous for something stupid. You want to be famous for that. All right. Well, now you're famous. But now, when you try to go somewhere and people see you, they're gonna say, "What's your name again?" They're gonna be looking. You that dude? Hey, bro. Get on out of here with that. It ain't that serious, man. And I know we in this social media driven era, but come on, man, stop messing up somebody's moment, man. You know, it's so now streakers at the Super Bowl. If you can make it on the field, I don't even know how you do that. Probably pay somebody to get you out of there. Yeah, I don't like that people trying to have a moment now. Hey, man, what's going to be the moment outside of the stop the nonsense, man. He didn't make it on that stage though. He got that close. They snapped him. Get your behind out.
Probably the guy that was going to be there showed up. He's like, no, that's who I am. That ain't me. That's probably how he got busted. But when I move off of football, technically in a minute or so, let's talk about fathers and sons for a second, right? And there's two different parts of this one I'm gonna get to, right? First and foremost, former Eagle great kicker David Akers, his son, has both received offers from the Bears and the Eagles to participate in training camp. So he's going to have a chance to either kick or punt because he does both actually.
Is it a tryout or is it a free agent contract?
No, it's a tryout for both of them. He got an offer from Chicago, and he's got an offer from Philadelphia. I think it's interesting the offer from Philadelphia because we know they signed their punter to a few-year contract, and he was one of average. I think he's a top 5 punter in the NFL last season. The only one I'd be shaking in my boots for is Jake Elliott because he's been super inconsistent the last 2 seasons as far as his kicks go. So maybe it's a thing to kind of motivate Jake. I don't know. We'll see if he lands on a team or not, regardless if it's the Eagles, Bears, whatever. But man, we getting old because David Akers' son is about to be a kicker in the NFL, right?
Dave, I think that's dope. I mean, here. Let me just say this. You know where his allegiance is. That man wants to kick a punt. Give me a contract. It ain't personal, Dad. If it's the Cowboys, if it's the Giants, I
don't think so.
You know what I'm saying? Because I don't know if we're gonna get to it though, but it's like that when you talk about Joey Porter Jr. getting drafted by the Steelers, you can't make that kind of stuff up, man. I mean, because everybody wants to. The only person who genuinely wants you to be better than them is your dad. Your dad wants you to be better than him. He mean that. When it comes to your son, hey man, go out there and get you a contract. You know what I'm saying? I mean, David Akers. I mean, he kicked for the freaking Falcons. I will say this about kickers. I don't think they got a different type of loyalty than other position players. It's different, right? Hey man, I want to kick. I punt. Because if they get hurt and the backup kicker got to come in, it's about to get ugly. And if that long snapper get hurt,
Eagles almost played for every single NFC East team. He played for the Cardinals. He played for the Giants. He played for the Eagles. So I definitely hear you that I think kickers.
Yeah, listen. When I was coming out, and I wasn't drafted like Ben. Ben, would you go 4th round, 3rd round?
I went 2nd round.
My apologies, brother. My apologies.
Yeah, I went 40. No, I went 40. I was blessed, man. Yeah, I don't take no. I say that humbly. I'm not one of the people. I say that humbly, man, because when I get to the league, Marv, it's crazy. It's crazy the amount of talent that they send home, and these guys can hoop. These guys are not good. That's what they should. I mean, I know they kind of do it with Hard Knocks, but there are certain players that they send them home, and you like, what? I'm telling you, man. I don't. Let's just say this, people. I can say this humbly. Do I make the Titans as a free agent? Yes. Did me being a second round pick in I was the first pick of the Titans that year in 2004. They had 14 picks. I was one of 14 for the 14. I still look back on it, man. I mean, I saw the Titans cut Eddie George. Because when I got there, Eddie George played 1 year in 2004. Remember, he played for the Cowboys. Well, that's my rookie year. I saw Eddie George try to put on some Titans gear to come out there, and this is Eddie George now, try to come out there and have practice. They told him, no, Eddie, don't dress. Because if he come out there and get hurt, they got to honor his contract. I watched the Titans in 2006 not let Steve McNair into the facility. He get out his car. I'm walking in front of him. They let me in. They don't let him in. They got this little itty-bitty dude named Joy, equipment guy, this little itty-bitty dude named Taki. They're holding the doors, not letting them in. You know how messed up that is? They gonna send those guys because they don't, Jeff Fisher ain't gonna go. I think that's messed up. So yeah, man, the league, it ain't for the weak-hearted, boy. It is a business times 1,000. But yeah, I was blessed enough to be drafted second round, 2004, 40th overall pick. My agent, when I got my agent Joe Siegel, he told me, he said, "Truth, you won't go higher than 20, and you will not go lower than 40." I went 40. So, hey man, and my agent's still doing it. Joe Siegel, man, that dude. Everybody knows about my agent is like Drew Rosenhaus without the limelight. He don't want it. But what Drew Rosenhaus does, man, my agent do that times 20. That man gets the money. He gets the money. He's a capitalist times a billion.
Yeah, no doubt. I'm familiar. I know he's big time. In regards to Akers, getting opportunities to try for these teams. If he goes to any of the rival teams that he grew up watching, he will have no problem with that. He will be ecstatic to get an NFL contract and have an NFL job. When I was coming out as an undrafted free agent, the Jets were one of the teams that offered me a contract. My coach thought that the Saints gave me a better opportunity, and we ended up doing that. It worked out. And let me tell you like this, I didn't care about them Jets at that time. And when I was in Green Bay and we played against the Jets, I was trying to murder them boys out there. You know what I'm saying? Like, it ain't no love. Listen, you happy to have an NFL job. You happy to be on a team. All that childhood allegiance goes away when you on a team. That's from my perspective. You know what I'm saying? And I'm sure when Ben was playing for the Raiders Titans, if he played against them Falcons, he was trying to give them the business. Ain't no love in no situations at all. So, I hope the kid makes it. I love to see these stories of the kids making it because I know what it's like when your dad is a pro and people have these expectations of you. It can be tough, man. It's a good it's a good thing you have to deal with. But he'll have no problem playing for anybody else in the NFC East. No doubt about it.
Well, I just hope he doesn't. Let him go to the Bears, man. Let him go to the Bears. Don't do that to me, man. Don't do that to me. It was tough enough watching the Akers played in San Francisco. At that time, I didn't really care for San Francisco anyway. Not even.
I mean, Steve, hold on. But I mean, I don't know if we got it on the thing. The biggest story in the draft is AJ Terrell's little brother in the second round. Avion Terrell. They drafted. So AJ Terrell is the starting cornerback for the Falcons right now. His little brother Avion, who also went to Clemson. So the Falcons didn't have a first round pick. They first pick up the second round. They got Avion Terrell. So you got to think about this. You talking about something dope. You could potentially have AJ and Avion starting. Did I forget to mention they both from Atlanta? They both are Atlanta Falcons fans. Went to Westlake High School, the home of Cam Newton. Hey man, I'm not saying it's gonna help us stop anybody now. It don't mean we're gonna stop nobody on defense. That's not what I'm saying. I'm saying you got potentially two brothers, AJ and Avion, could be potentially starting in the National Football League together. So this is AJ's what, 7th year? Yeah, man. I think that's one of the biggest moments of the draft. I mean, you two siblings on the same team drafted 6 years apart. That's dope. Once again, Doesn't mean they're going to win anything. It is the Falcons now. We can't even beat the Panthers these days. But yeah, but I thought that was dope.
A few more other draft ones I wanted to talk about. Now, this one here I thought was interesting. Obviously, Tyler Algier thought leaving Atlanta, going to Arizona, he was going to get the majority of the carries this season. Well, Arizona happened to draft Jeremiah Love, so I don't think that's a real possibility for him. But I think if you're him, I don't completely write the situation off, even though they did draft Love, because you ain't gonna want them to give Jeremiah Love the ball, 400 times his rookie season. You don't want to see that, and I think that's why you have a guy like him in the room. But it's tough when you think that you're leaving one place that has the premier back, and you want to get the bulk of the touches, and the team you go to with the top pick, they go and get a guy at your position. It ain't easy, that's for sure.
Nah,
show that young in the road. Show that young how to go out there. I mean, look, Algiers. So let me get this straight. Algiers, he played for my Falcons. He was backing up Bijan Robinson, a really, 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 really good number 2. They just gave you 2 years, almost $13 million. Let me tell you something, Algiers. Go out there and show Jeremiah Love how to go out there and get it. He can't take every snap. And you know this too, Mom. Sometimes, dude, they trade you for more, they pick you up for more than just the money. Dude, show these youngers in this room how to be pros, man. They don't know how to do it yet. And I get it. Everybody, there are no more feature backs. Like, there are no more bell cows. That's how guys are making it way past 30. Ain't no giving a guy 400 and some carries a year, man. That's 2 seasons. The Montgomerys and the Jameer, Gibbs. That's how you do it now. I mean, let's do more with less. I'd rather have 2 than 1, because if I'm giving a guy that many carries, by the time he gets to the playoffs, he done. His legs are gone. But yeah, Algiers, you'll be all right, man, and you know how to handle it. Because Bijan was first team All-Pro. I love Caleb Downs, another Georgia boy that went to Ohio State, started out at Alabama. I think Jeremiah Love is the best player in this draft. And I'm going to stand on that here. That boy can do it. Jeremiah can do it. And another thing, too, about Jeremiah Love, he's the highest drafted running back since Saquon Barkley, who went number 2 overall in that draft. Hashtag draft running backs in the first round. I don't know if we get this. You can get them late. You can get them later in the draft. You can get them early, too. Get them early, pay them. And I hope by the time Arizona is halfway decent of a football team, Jeremiah Love still got some will, because they're gonna run that young man. But that young man that boy talented, man. He should have finished higher in the draft in the Heisman voting too. I think he should have won. Love you, Fernando. I think Jeremiah Love should have won the Heisman. That's me. I could be wrong. People get mad. You think he was good for the 2025? Watch his tape of 2024. He got a Marcus Freeman. You better be lucky you had Jeremiah Love, because that boy kept y'all in that national championship. Y'all didn't win it, but Jeremiah Love nasty, man. He a bad boy.
I don't think you're wrong there. You could have gave Love the Heisman either one of the last 2 years, and I don't think a whole lot of people would have been too upset about it. I did want to touch on a few baseball topics. Obviously, Alex Cora relieved of his duties up there in Boston, but back to that father-son combo, because Rob Thompson has been relieved of duties in Philadelphia, despite winning 90-plus games 3 seasons in a row. Don Mattingly and Preston Mattingly become the first father and son general manager duo in Major League Baseball history. So I think that's kind of a cool step. Dude, obviously the Phillies won their game last night after relieving Thompson of his duties. The Phillies won 7-0 last night. So it's going to be interesting. I know they did reach out to Alex Cora to see if he would come be the manager here before they gave the position to Mattingly. But my question to you guys is do you think we're going to see any more early firings within the next month in Major League Baseball? Ben?
Ooh, early ones? To me, the only way you're gonna see early ones is if the team is significant, like they deep playoff, they perennial playoff contenders. Because the Phillies, I mean, say what you want. I know they're in my NL East. It was weird. It's weird what's going on. Like, what is going on in Philly? And the manager is going to be the first one to go. They go manager first. It was crazy. First is, what was it? Left-handed pitchers or something crazy?
It's bad. The left-handed pitchers have been their problem for multiple years now. My thing is about letting Rob go is because I kind of feel he's the scapegoat, and I don't even think Rob's the problem. I think if anything, the pitching coach, the hitting coach, the general manager who put the players all together on this team and gave them all their crazy contracts, he should have been let go before I would have fired Rob Thompson. I didn't believe that Rob was the crux of the problem, nor do I think Don Mattingly or another manager is going to miraculously get the bats to waking up against left-handed pitching. So it's one of these things that if you're a Phillies fan, obviously it's a rough time. You lost 10 10 out of your last 12 games. It definitely wasn't a good look. Something had to be done, and unfortunately, Rob's the one that kind of took the brunt of it. Like I said, he won 90 games 3 years ago. He won 95 games the previous season. He won 96 games last year. And he's the guy you fire? I don't know. I think he's going to land somewhere, but I mean, it's one of those.
No, it's but you know what it really is, Steve. It's not so much what the Phillies not doing, is what the other teams in your division are doing. They're going to compare it to that, and I don't know why people freak out with, Yeah, but here's the thing, though. Baseball, as many games as they play, it'll still come down to the last 2 weeks of the season. A team will find a way to claw its way back. It's too much panic that happens in baseball, and that's the part I don't like. Is baseball is the ultimate game of failure. The guy who fails the least is the best player in baseball. He don't strike out as much. Yeah, I got a lower strikeout percentage. I strike out a lot, but not as much as those guys. My own base percentage, all the other type of stuff. But the Phillies, listen, when you got guys like Bryce Harper and company, when you got big names and still some like faces of baseball and you're not winning, the scapegoat gonna be the manager, because you can't get rid of him. So get rid of the manager. Don Mattingly. Don't say I didn't want to manage no more. So what the hell are you doing there? I don't understand that. I don't want to manage no more. Are you managing? Yeah. Well, be quiet. Go out, because you know what Don Mattingly don't really want? If you're the manager, you had nothing to do with what happened before you got here, but you inherit that when you get here. You better get us out this hole, and your previous successes cannot help you now, sir. You got to do it now. Can't live off who you used to be. But yeah, I don't think it's going to be any more. Because you've already had two, which is still rare. I get 1, 2, but it'll be fine. It's too many games of baseball for people to be going crazy. 12 games. You don't want to lose, 10 out of 12 or 11 out of 12, but you can make that stuff up.
We're over a month in, so I mean, what about you, Marvin?
That's panic.
Yeah, so I agree with what Ben said in the first part of that, and I get into that. Sports is a what have you done for me lately type of situation, and when you look at the investment that these teams make in regards to the trades, the draft, the contracts, the coaching, these owners expect, results. I think that in any sport, a coach is going to get fired early, if the organization doesn't believe that the coach has the attention of the players. If you have top players, top paid players, veteran players, talking to management about the coach losing his fastball, the coach not being able to really inspire or lead, that and on top of that, you're losing games, then that becomes an issue, I think. You know what I'm saying? You could be a big name head coach and your team is not doing well, but at the same time, the players still respect you and the fan base is with you. You know what I mean? And that can help. But in certain situations, if you're not winning and the team owner, GM doesn't think that you have that fastball to get this team over the hump, or that you've lost your fastball, whatever it may be, then early in the season, they're going to make changes. Ben said it, you play so many games in baseball, so you kind of feel like, even if you start out slow, you got big league players on your roster. You got guys who have the ability to get it done. So, you can come out of this hole, which teams do all the time. But depending upon the momentum, depending upon, what your players feel about you, depending upon, your ability to still lead men, yeah, man, these coaches get fired all the time. It wouldn't shock me in baseball, and if you saw more firings just because of that. I mean, again, this is what have you done for me lately? And then also you have organizations who already see the end of the road and they want to get to the future as fast as possible. You know what I'm saying? Even if that means they're not going to hire the coach this season, they're going to go with an intern, whatever it may be. I mean, it is what it is, man. They're paying a lot of money for results. So with that said, the standard is high. You got to get it done. And if you don't, you out. We see it all the time. So we shouldn't be surprised when we see it happen here.
Like I said, my biggest thing is I think Rob's a scapegoat, but it's one of those things in baseball, and I think Marvin touched on it. If you lost the touch with the players, or as Marvin was saying, if you lost your fastball, it's going to be something that everyone upstairs knows about. But the response from the players have been totally different. Like, it's like, they felt like they got him fired, that Rob didn't get himself fired. Jesus Lazarus, he basically said something like that because he also worked with Rob and he worked with Don when he was in Miami. Kyle Schwarber went out and said something similar, even to the point that the weirdest thing I seen happen was Rob Thompson did like an exit interview with the Philadelphia media, which you almost never see happen in Major League Baseball when the manager's fired, early in the season, mid-season, late season, whatever. You don't ever really see an exit interview like that. So I just thought I just feel like we're putting a Band-Aid over a wound that needs stitches, in my opinion. So we'll see if they're able to find their bats again, to get out of this rut, this funk that they're in. But we still got
they'll come out. They're not the Mets. They'll find a way out.
Like I said, we still got 100, 130, 120 some odd games to go. It's a long season. We'll see what gets straightened out. But last year it was Phillies Karen that made her moment in the stands. Well, we got our Kyle moment this season because Cleveland Guardians fans, drops a home run ball, then goes and rips it out of this little girl's hands. And sure enough, media and the team itself figured out what happened, got her the ball, and shamefully, after he was rightfully doxxed by the media, by social media and things like that, the gentleman gave the ball back to the little girl, but she had already been taken care of by the team, the player, the whole nine. But I'll give him this much: at least he didn't go the Karen route where he was blaming everyone else. He just put his head down and bounced the girl and gave her the ball back. But why are we stealing balls from little kids, man?
So a few things at play here, but doesn't it just tell you again and reaffirm how serious sports are to people, how important sports memorabilia are to people? I mean, for this grown man to come with this little girl like this is crazy, right? And again, in people's lives, the biggest things are family, religion, and sports in no particular order. You know what I'm saying? In America, at least, for a lot of people. It just tells you the reality of, how he feels about sports, how he feels about that ball, what that ball meant to him, that he would go out there and embarrass himself, his family. What a horrible example for your son and your daughter, right? Imagine this if he has kids. What a horrible, you got to go to work, man. You know what's crazy? I bet you he's a teacher. At some elementary school or middle school. So no, I'm just saying, like, but it just tells you, man, these people are fanatic. You know what I'm saying? Why we call them fans for short. And I'm happy he gave it back after the fact. But listen, in the moment, your heart told you, go get that ball from that girl. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's crazy. It is. That's really how it went down, man. So I hate it for him that he's now infamous.
if anything, if it was like a milestone, like home run ball or something like that, that's something I can understand. Causing a dog pile up on a bunch of kids to try to get that ball, because those things usually fetch a pretty penny. But either way, bad look.
Mm-hmm.
But bravo for the disgraced man. Bravo to the Guardians to making sure the girl was taken care of. We have weird situations. Hell, even here in Philadelphia, I had a Flyers fan at his first Flyers game 3 here in Philadelphia. Man stole his jersey, stole his autographed jersey from one of the.
That's right. I paid my ticket. I got
taking the jerseys off and being shirtless. So the kid's like 10, 12 years old. So he's doing the same thing. Goes to put his jersey back on. It's gone.
Yeah, we look at milestones different. It's going to be different for everybody. Yeah, but think about this. All right, Steven, and that's what I was gonna say.
Go ahead.
All right, Steven, it's the NLCS. It's the Phillies versus the Dodgers. Bryce Harper is at the plate, bottom of the ninth. We talking about got a runner on second, and he hit it out the park. And Steven just happens to be at the game.
Marvin, I'm tackling your son, but we're splitting the funds.
Listen. You would. It could be an 85-year-old lady. You gonna mush her in the face to get that freaking ball.
I just told Marvin I'm tackling his son, but we're all splitting the funds at the end.
Because you know what's crazy? To most people, right? That's why they go to the games. Hey man, I've been coming to games for 20 years. Oh my God, I'm finally in a position to get a baseball, and I just happen to be living in the social media era to where they shame you into giving the ball back. You know what I'm saying?
I've been to more than 2 sets of hands and toes baseball games in my life. I've never had one hit in my section, let alone my direction.
Man, let me tell you. Listen, all I'm saying is, right, to every rule there is an exception, and when the exception happens to you, it's like when people say, "Why are they doing this? Why are they going crazy? It's just so and so. It's just so and so." Until it's the person you want to see. It's like, you know what I'm saying? Once again, I go back to the red carpet, and we all out there, and they say, "You Marvin Powell the third?" Like, yeah. And they said, like, "You think your dad can name?" And Mom goes, "Actually, I think your dad was good. We got a problem." What'd you just say? Because I'm telling you, we don't play. And when it comes to these sport events, man, Lil Boosie, oh my God. Lil Boosie, he tried to dunk the other week, him and Desi. That was awful. Jumped off the trampoline. I said, Boosie, boy, you should have stayed in your chair. But it's like a ball, one time a ball, Boosie gets sidelined. He on court. You know what I'm saying? He got court seats. A ball came and hit him, and he fell all on the ground like he was all dramatic. Look, man, should he have given the ball back? Yes. Should he have been shamed? They shamed him. This man out on the news, he got to go, like you said, Marvin, he got to go back to work. All this fellow teachers like this, bro, what you doing? What you mean? You give it to the kid. That little girl don't want that ball, man. She don't even know who that is. And I'm like, and then your homies walk by and say, I would have did the same thing. I ain't gonna lie. If I would have been there, they would have had to shame. He wasn't gonna give it up. They shamed him. And you can't enjoy yourself at the game. You know what I'm saying? Baseball is why they invented beer. If you're gonna sit down for 3.5 hours and not fall asleep, you should drink something. And the ball come my way. She dropped it. I get it. Boo! Give up the ball. So, and guess what, Steven? If that's Bryce Harper in the playoffs, period, it ain't nothing they can. So, Steven, are you going to give it back to her? Absolutely not. And that lady that I mushed in the face, I'll mush her again. I'm not giving her this. I don't care what y'all say. Can't shame me. And they say, it goes up for auction.
But that's not even the crazy situation that happened over this past week. Obviously, playoff basketball, playoff hockey, everything's crazy, right? Flyers and Pittsburgh have a very recent crazy rivalry, especially with Pittsburgh still having their stars on it, which basically through the first few years of this of that regime that the Flyers and Penguins played
a couple years. So, hold on a sec.
Big Ben, I didn't mean to mess up your draft spot. I don't know why. I was thinking
No,
three
you
format.
I
Look,
know,
I
man.
know,
I don't, man. I
look,
don't.
man, I know you was a
don't.
baller, UF, All American, all that. No, I
No,
don't
that's
mean
all
that.
good. Man, Marv,
And
I don't take it. I don't take it personal, man. It's all good.
you should.
You know what I'm saying?
You should. I know you
I
don't. I'm
should,
just
man.
saying.
You know what it is, Marv? Because you know what I realized too. You know how you know how you got the former players. They can't wait to tell you about their career. Oh, I was. You know what I'm saying? I'll be like, bro, if you play one snap or 20 years, respect. Because I played with Jared Payton, the son of Walter Payton. Now, you know, Walter is out of this world. Sweeten's out of this world. I said, Jared, man, what you want to do in this league? He said, I just want to score. What? My daddy scored a bunch. I just want to score. So it's our second year. We playing Houston. That boy got in the zone. And to me, right, he said, man, I got to introduce my daddy for his Hall of Fame speech. I got to introduce him. I said, for real? Like, yeah, man. And he says, spoilers all get out though, Marv now. That boy spoiled now. Our first or second year, because we all came in together, he's on the phone. And he goes, all right, Mom. All right, tell him I'll get it. And I'm like, who you talking to? That's my mom, man. You know, Michael Jordan, man, trying to sell me his BMW. I'm like, what? Michael Jordan trying to sell me his BMW. Yeah, listen. We're in training camp. Jared Payton, the son of Walter Payton, he's on the phone with his mom. Spoiled, man, just a brat, just spoiled. He was like, all right, Mom, tell him I'll get it. So we was like, who you talking to? We like, oh, that's, you know, my mom saying Michael Jordan want to know, am I going to get his BMW? He had a BMW 760. So he said, yeah, you're going to get it. Here's the arrogance, though. Here's the arrogance. Oh, my freaking God. Michael Jordan had the 2-3 on the back. You know, he took the BMW, he got 2-3 on the back. Do you know Jared Payton took the 2 off and put a 3 on there because he won number 33? I said, what are you doing? I don't want no 23. And then we said, Jared, when you were growing up, did you used to hang out at Michael Jordan's house, at Michael Jordan's compound? Like, yeah, y'all used to be over there. You spoiled like a man. Be quiet. Just shut up. Just be quiet. Like, and think about that. And I didn't know what a trust fund baby was then. Yeah. And then Troy Fleming, who played Troy Fleming, who was, I think he's like 4th or 5th all-time rushing in high school. He went to Battleground Academy in Franklin, Tennessee. That joker had to be a fullback at Tennessee. He said, "True, don't let Jared fool you. That boy got $10 million waiting for him when he turned 30." I say, what? Yeah. All he got to do is keep living. Trust fund. And I was like, so I was a little jealous. You know, he had a 760. I had a 750. I could afford a 760. I'm not getting that V12. That's $160,000. I can't. That's too high for me to fly. But I did have a 750. So because I know Jared got Michael Jordan 760, we get to go home and training camp. We get to leave early one day. And I know me and Jared live like in the same spot. So we got out there on 65 South and I hit that thing. Now I got a V10, he got a V12. He's trying to hit it, but he don't know. So I beat him and I got off on my exit. I ain't say nothing. We get the word the next day. What's up, Jared? Oh, true. Listen, I was about to. No, you lost. Listen, you're not going to hit them 12 cylinders, boy. 12? And to this day, when I see Jared, I say, Jared, you still got a Michael Jordan BMW? No, I sold it. Just spoiled. But yeah, man. I mean, people like yourself whose fathers played in the NFL, I don't even want to know what it's like to have to live in that type of legacy. But y'all handle it with class, man. I give y'all a lot of credit. Because I would be so hard. If my daddy was a Hall of Fame caliber player and I'm coming through, you got to deal with me. I'm a work. My shirt says, "Do you know who the hell I am?.com. Do you know who I am? What you mean y'all close? But my daddy was hey, listen, my senior of college, my senior year, I was up for the John Mackey Award. I lost to Kellen Winslow. Kellen Winslow the second. You know, his daddy played for the, Dan Fouts. So when people, mind you, I didn't even know who John Mackey was, not when I was in college. But they was like, yeah, man, you lost to Kellen Winslow. I said, well, his daddy's a Hall of Famer. My daddy was in jail. So, we playing for something a little bit different. You know what I'm saying? But, man, I don't sweat it, man. I mean, yeah, I thank God every day that I got drafted where I got drafted. But I appreciate no harder football player in life than an undrafted free agent. Y'all boys, y'all different, boy. Y'all don't play. Y'all be letting us know, man, y'all better stop playing with these coaches, boy. I mean, y'all don't play. And to me, too many high draft pick players, they ain't got the right mentality. That's why they don't last long. If that hard hat, just workman's mentality, man, I played with some players, man. Wes Welker was in my draft. He went undrafted. Wes Welker got drafted in 2004. He went undrafted. So we don't know what the hell we doing with the draft picks, right? There wasn't no Howie Roseman's Stephen back in 2004, 2003, in the early 90s. But, yeah, man, I don't care nothing about my draft.
Did you go to New York?
Did
you fly to New York for the draft?
No. Nah, man, I'm a country boy, man. I was in Swainsboro, Georgia, where I'm from, at one of my dad's friends' crib. A bunch of my teammates. I had a teammate that went to Furman University. His name is Isaac West. We came out together in 2000 in high school. Billy Napier, the former head coach of Florida, who just got fired, he threw to Isaac. This back when phones had Roman. That boy came all the way from Augusta to sit there and watch me get drafted. I mean, he my homie to this day. Like, super duper humble. That boy shared in my moment. No animosity, no jealousy, no hate. So, nah, man, I'm from a small town, man. My whole town, you can fit my whole town in a neighborhood in Atlanta. My whole county can fit like 7,500 people. It's not 7,500 people down there. That's a lie. It's probably 5. Over here, they're getting 7,500. But, nah, man, I mean, I'm the same way I'm now is how I was back then. I just was a lot younger, man. I wasn't like those dudes, man, like how people be trying to big time people because they $1 million player. I'm like, dude, I tell dudes, you think your wife really loves you? Boy, you make $10 million. You think you handsome? You're not. You have 10 million. It's a bunch of men want you too. You got $10 million a year. I'm just saying, it's like I was that type of dude, man. I don't let people big time people. Oh man, don't talk to him. He just man, we'll be fighting. Hey, bro, don't do that. Who you supposed to be? How you gonna talk trash to an offensive lineman if you play running back? Okay, all right. Watch you get knocked out in the preseason game. But nah, I never did that stuff, man. Even to this day, man. I tell my nephews, I got a nephew at Kennesaw State, I got a nephew at Washburn. I said, man, be the best player you could be, man. But treat people with respect, man. Because I say people work hard. Extremely hard, and the NFL is the only time somebody gonna tell you, sorry, man, it ain't good enough. We appreciate it. Let me know if you need anything. I need a job. Well, I can't give you that, but let me know if you need something else. Well, the 40th overall pick back in 2004. I was in the same draft as Eli Manning, Larry Fitzgerald, Ben Roethlisberger, Phillip Rivers. You know what I'm saying? I mean, we had some boys come out of there, man. Steven Jackson. Out of UNLV, the big running back that went to the Rams, D'Angelo Hall, Jared Allen, who's already in the Hall of Fame. But yeah, man, I enjoyed it, man. I caught a touchdown pass from Steve McNair and Vince Young. I caught a touchdown pass against Troy Polamalu, and I caught a touchdown pass against Brian Dawkins at the link in Philly. And I couldn't even feel my face because he hit me the very first play. He hit me right here. I couldn't feel nothing. My whole face was numb. So for 3 hours, I couldn't feel nothing. I done played against some players, boy. Brian Dawkins, him. I'm talking about Lindell White, SC, out there on the field, and Brian Dawkins talking him. Lindell White jumps up, starts cussing at Lindell. B-Dog jumps up and starts speaking in tongues to Lindell White. Lindell White is scared. Lindell White runs off the field and tells Norm Chow, former SC offensive coordinator, Hey man, y'all need to get that dude, man. There's something wrong with him. And listen, and he got to go back in the game. I said, hey man, that's B-Dog, man. You can't even see his face with that super dog. So yeah, man, my life is a dream, man. I don't take credit for it, man. God knew what he was doing, had fun with it, didn't care nothing about no Pro Bowls. I wish I would have made one. Got to go to the playoffs one time, but we played the Chargers with Phillip Rivers, Sean Merriman, Antonio Gates, LaDainian Tony, not gonna beat Vincent Jackson, Nathan Basher, Antonio Cromartie. How we gonna beat them? And Vince Young is our quarterback. So, and I love you, BY. You know I love you, but hey man, so just going a little blast from the past. But no, man, I don't care about them draft statuses, man. Show me the type of man you are. You know what I'm saying? We can rock. If you walk around telling me, man, I was the number 1 overall pick and I would knock you the hell out. How about that? We can scrap right now. You and your number 1 overall pick and be looking at the sky. Because don't my dad's name is John Wesley True, and he don't play that. He ain't birth no suckers. 0. I could not walk in my daddy's house and say, what happened? I got beat up. Why? Cause daddy, man, come on. At 43 years old, come on. Which it ain't finna happen, but yeah, man. I'm like you, Marvin. I just ain't play fullback. I'm cool, but I'm a little loose. I got some screws loose too. I just keep, but I got a wife and kids, so I don't. You know what I'm saying? You know how that when you get ready to do something crazy, your wife tap you, Marvin. All right, and you just look at her like, "What you like?"
All right, so
I'm like that too.
So the hockey point I wanted to make, right? And it's more of an overall playoff thing, right?
Mm-hmm.
Guy, I don't remember if it was game 3 or game 4, but guy takes his dad to a hockey game. His dad has terminal cancer, right? They're right behind the Penguins bench, right? So what do you think is being chanted all around the stadium, right? Bleep the Penguins, right? So apparently either a NHL official or someone on the Penguins bench was taking exception to the fact that these guys were chanting bleep the Penguins. So do you want to guess what the Xfinity Mobile Arena event staff did?
What?
They tossed them out of the game.
Man, stop the nonsense.
I'm not kidding you, dude. I'm not kidding. $1,300 a ticket. $1,300 a ticket, and they were removed from the stadium because they were saying bleep the Penguins. Not anything personal to a player, not anything about a player's parent, mother, child, whatever. It was just bleep the Penguins. And the entire stadium's chanting it. But we're gonna have these two gentlemen that were behind the glass, behind the Penguins bench, that we're gonna remove them from the game.
So they started.
I don't know if they started the chant or not, but it was getting rowdy. People were going crazy, and they're around the Penguins glass. And even the guy said, like, I thought when you initially came down, you were saying something about us touching the glass, so I made sure I let everyone know, let's not touch the glass. So it was like the video I seen when the guy was explaining it, he was talking to several different staff members, and he was just trying to get an explanation. He's like, are you really throwing us out for saying something that 25,000 other people are saying right now? He's like, I don't get it.
That has to be some type of, so, when you buy a ticket, there are legal terms attached to the ticket and all that stuff. And there are a lot of things that fans don't realize that, that you essentially are in contract with somebody. And I guess, the way I would look at it is, if part of that agreement is that, you can't, start riots, you can't entice, you can't do that, then that gives them, leeway to say, hey, you got to go because you said something bad. But I'm thinking about like NFL games and college games. Ref, you suck. That. How many times have you heard that, right? Or first, where the whole crowd is in unison or whatever it may be. So that's just weird to me. I don't get that. If I was the fan, I would look at some type of legal recourse, to be honest with you. especially with the investment being
$1,300 a seat.
That's what I'm saying. That's what I'm saying. So, yeah, that's just odd and weird to me. I've never heard of that happening like that. And how you single out two individuals in a crowd of thousands of people, again, it's just weird. That whole situation is part of the game day experience. That's part of the fan experience. That's
like
part
I said,
of the player
unless you're being
experience.
particularly rowdy, if you're threatening the security of not just people around you, but the players, that would make sense to me. But
they're gonna have to physically carry me out of there. Like I'm not walking.
Well, no, and that's where because it wasn't. It was just the event staff. Then there was a member of the Flyer security, because you seen his lanyard. It's black and yellow. It wasn't league official type thing. He said a league official contacted him and then flagged these two gentlemen. So I'm not sure if it was someone from the Pittsburgh bench or the NHL itself, but either way, out of all the places they're going to do it at Xfinity Mobile Arena, it would make more sense if it was happening at Pittsburgh, and you have a Flyers fan that's doing this in Pittsburgh, and they're just trying to keep the peace on their bench. But if you're in Philadelphia, like that's like sitting there throwing out a 6-year-old kid and his drunken father because they're saying F Dallas, right?
I mean, what type of language? What type of language do they think happen at sporting events? No. This type of language happens.
In my opinion, it would make more sense if this was basketball, because we've seen it a lot more in basketball in recent years, where fans that are courtside are just taking too many liberties with the players, and they're being removed from the games. We've seen that. It's not like it's a new thing. It's been happening more frequently over the last 5 to 6 years or so. We've seen it. LeBron's been caught in situations. Westbrook's been caught in situations. Green's been caught in situations as we're talking about the Warriors. So we've all seen guys get in altercations and have fans removed, but it's when things are getting personal between the fan and the player itself, not just sitting there saying, F the Warriors, F the Lakers. It shouldn't matter which sport it is. You should be able to say, hey Knicks, hey Sixers, hey Flyers, hey F you guys. You should be able to say that.
We say that. Hold on, wait a minute. Before we came on,
experience. Go ahead.
Yeah, but hold on for a second. Before we came on, me and Marv was talking about our daughters playing, club sports. People have no clue. People don't get it. Like, let me tell you something. If you think you're going to be throwing parents out, you know how much money you pay for club sports? I'm talking about travel, miles, gas, hotel. You talk about food, and then you get to the game, and this ref say one more word. Word. How much you would, sir? What? And here's the thing. It's a human thing. We naturally talk trash to each other, right? But let me tell you something. I've never paid $1,300 for a ticket for anything. If I pay $1,300, you're gonna have to physically pick me up, and sir, it's time to go. Hell no.
I did. WrestleMania here in Philadelphia.
Man,
how much you pay, Steve?
I paid almost that per seat.
Wow.
Let me tell you something. Let me tell you something. If you ever seen the Kings of Comedy, if I paid $1,300 for I would be in my seat. I wish you would be. I'm gonna tell everybody I see. I go to say, hey man, good game, but I paid $1,300 for these seats. We're gonna be here the whole game. Yep. We're gonna enjoy ourselves. We're gonna document this. Whoever did that, man, come on, man. That's like a club.
Like I said, regardless, NHL official, Pittsburgh Penguin, someone on their, I don't care. Get thicker skin. Nope. We're talking about hockey, right?
Come on.
So I mean, I just feel bad for the family, but a couple more things when we ran. Marvin, I found an X-ray of your head, man. It's great. It's great because it's full of nothing but football. College game day, Thursday night football, NFL red zone, Sunday night football. I found your X-ray, Marvin.
That's it, bro. You ain't lying, man. You ain't lying. Football is my number 1, 2, and 3 sport. Love it to death. Been like this since I was a kid. It is what it is, y'all. It is what it is.
Let me ask you, since the draft is over and what we got, I think this is the longest wait now between the draft and before we get to training camp, right?
Now it is. Now I will say this. This is perfect for me because this is when I start focusing on NBA. Typically round 2. Because round 1 is typically, what it is now. It's trash. But to me it is. But round 2,
looks like the Detroit Pistons are about to choke away that number 1 seed.
Yeah.
Last I checked, they're down 3 games to 1, wasn't it?
Who they got?
3 games to 1 on them, I believe.
More importantly, the Lakers
they have many moons removed.
Getting out of the first round of the playoffs, so
they're the good boy Pistons now. They are not the bad boys.
Right now. But like I said, as we started, the Sixers have found life again, and another big win for them last night. I think tomorrow night they're back for Game 6. Marvin, what do you think the chance of that's going to 7 since Joel is back now?
Yeah. Listen, when you get a player as special as Joel Embiid, with his size, his skill set, when he's healthy and, he's emotionally there and he's his head's in the right place, that dude's almost unstoppable, man. You know what I'm saying? Like, it's just, when he's healthy and he's on, he's almost unstoppable. You know what I mean? But, personally, I think he's a little bit too emotional. And I don't think he's available enough to really count on. I think, I know
that's the other side of that I was going to go because, Stephen A. Smith was calling for him to be traded this offseason.
I get it, man. I get it. I do.
I already said I thought a few years ago the process has failed.
Yeah, but if he's healthy and
if he's healthy, he's
your
the best
team has a chance regardless. Like you have a difference maker who's hard to defend, hard to stop. I mean. When he's healthy, he's as good as it gets for a big man.
And he has multiple different shots. He can drive. He can hit you with fadeaways. He can hit you with threes.
Yeah, and you don't get every team ain't got that. Every team's best big man ain't that. You know what I mean? So regardless of anything else, when you guys got Maxey,
I still think he's not as valued as he should be as a defender. He's not the greatest defensive center that we've ever seen, but
he's 7 feet tall, Steve. He has to stand in front of the net and do this. Just do this in front of the rim. That's all he has to do. What are we talking about? Right?
Yeah, but I think Victor Biama is about to take that crown from him this postseason.
Because he just won Defensive Player of the Year, right?
I believe so.
Vic?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Joel Embiid, I love you. Just stop shooting threes, man. You know how many more points you can score? You just get real close to the basket.
No, his problem is when he falls and hits
Joel
the
Embiid.
court. That's his problem. When he falls and hits the court is his problem. His problem. The Philadelphia 76ers problem was Ben Simmons. God. Man. So, all right, we're on basketball. I got this list, right? So I want to – we always do it for football, right? Well, let's do it. I want 3 guys from just about every position here. I want your top 3 guys all time from each position. Point guard, shooting guard, small forward, power forward, and center. Right? According to this list, point guard, they got Magic Johnson, Steph Curry, and Oscar Robertson. Shooting guard, Michael Jordan, Kobe Bryant, Dwayne Wade. Small forward, LeBron James, Larry Bird, Kevin Durant. Power forward, Tim Duncan, Karl Malone, Dirk Nowitzki. Center, Kareem, Wilt, and Hakeem. Now, I guess I'll start off with Marvin on this because this is basketball is your second love of sports here. Is there anything you would want to disagree with? Who's your top 3 in each of those positions? Do you agree with the list mostly? Is there someone you want to add in?
The only thing that I really was just wondering, because I didn't see for the center, I see Kareem and Wilt. I couldn't see number 3. I know it's Hakeem.
Yeah, it's Hakeem Olajuwon.
But my thought was, is it going to be Shaq? Because when Shaquille O'Neal was in his prime, and we're talking about we can go 8 years, right? Who in the world in the history of basketball is stopping that man? And you know what I'm saying? So I got none but love for Kareem. I think he's one of the most underrated players in NBA history because he played so long ago, but people don't realize how dominant he was. Will forget about it. And so I have no problem with those two being 1 and 2. Hakeem was a dog, and I can't argue against him, but my thing is Shaq was the truth, man. Huge. Showed up. He played a game in the paint. Like these dudes don't know how to play right now. He was a big man's big man. Yeah. So it's hard for me to not
agree with that. It's hard to keep Kareem out, but I still think Shaq motivated, healthy, and had more than just a pile of peanuts around him. He was something special to watch for more than a 5-year stretch. So I will agree with you on that one. I think that on that center list you'd add them, but power forward, I don't really have an argument with you there. Small forward, no argument really with you there. I mean, is there anyone else you think you should be added to this?
I mean, people gonna get mad if I say it.
And don't be careful if someone's mad.
I'm gonna say
it's your list.
Listen, I'm gonna keep saying this. Listen, I think with the point guards, Magic, yes. Steph, yes. I know Oscar Robertson averaged a triple-double. He was him. But if I only get 3, I got Steph, I got Magic, and I got Isaiah. Isaiah Thomas. Man, and this dude did it. He had to beat Magic. He had to beat Bird. He had to beat Mike. Because Mike, when Michael Jordan started winning is when the Detroit Pistons got older, and that's when he took over. But I agree. And when it comes to the centers, I would keep Kareem. I would keep Hakeem. I would take out Wilt, and I would add Shaq. I think Shaq was better than Wilt. Love Wilt, though he had the 100-yard. I would take out Wilt. I think
that's more controversial than your first comment.
It is. Look. I mean, Hakeem had the dream shape. Shaq had the Shaq, and Kareem Abdul-Jabbar had the most unstoppable move. You know what I'm saying? The sky hook. It's the most unstoppable move in basketball today. Mm-hmm. This list is going to be interchangeable depending on who you ask and when you ask. But I know people go, Oscar Robertson, you're going to put in Isaiah Thomas? Yep. You're going to take out Wilt and put in Shaq? Yep. Shaq. I would say this. Kareem Abdul-Jabbar, to me, is the greatest basketball player ever. I think Kareem is the greatest. He was the greatest in high school. He was the greatest in college. He was the greatest. They retired the jersey with Milwaukee. They retired the jersey with the Lakers. I think he went back to back national championships at UCLA, Naismith Player of the Year, Final Four. All is this. And he won 6 championships. I think he's the greatest. With all that being said, the most dominant center I've ever seen is Shaq. And obviously, I didn't see Kareem. I didn't see Will. I did see Hakeem. I ain't never seen nothing like Shaq. Listen, Shaq couldn't shoot. And Shaq couldn't shoot free throws, and he used to, man, stop it. If Shaq can shoot and shoot free throws, he'll have the most points in NBA history. But he can't shoot. So, listen, Will, may you rest in paradise. You know, you the ladies' man. It's the king, it's Kareem, and it's Shaq. And I'll down that hill. And I'll take Oscar Robertson out. I'll put in, like I said, I'll say something. And I know people
that's fair enough. That's fair enough. Like I said, I pretty much agree with Marvin. The only one I thought is popping out was Hakeem. But also remember, Hakeem won back-to-back when Michael was gone. Right?
Yep. Yeah, I would never argue against Hakeem Olajuwon. It was tough, man, to do that. But I'm just saying,
but that's the fun of these lists. We get to have these cool little debates and see who we like, see who we don't like. I mean, for the most part, even with Ben, like it's not crazy to sit there and switch out Isaiah with.
I love this. Isaiah was him now. I mean, look, Oscar Robertson was him. You average. I'm not. You know, I mean, Jerry West is the freaking logo. Why is Jerry West the logo and not Kobe? Not LeBron. Like Mike Jerry West is still the logo. Give it to LeBron or Kobe.
Yeah, right.
And Dwayne Wade, for those who don't know, was a bad man, boy. Bad boy. That's a bad boy right now. Marquette's finest. What, he went to Marquette in college?
Yes.
Yeah, hey, people love lists, man. Either one, because somebody's too high, or somebody's not on it at all.
That's the way it goes, but creates conversations, keeps us talking about stuff. Looks like the Flyers and Penguins are going to overtime, as it's still nothing. No one put a goal on the board. Should be interesting over the next hour as far as that one goes. But parting shots, final words, Marvin.
Yeah, man. NFL draft is over. As I said, now I'm focusing on the NBA playoffs. I'm looking forward to seeing LeBron and them boys close it out here, and then focus on beating them boys in OKC in an upset. Other than that, man, catch me, Marvin on the mic, Marvin Powell III, writing articles, doing videos for Roundtable Sports. So you can catch me multiple times a week on the Top USC podcast show with USCJ.
What about you, Ben? Parting words, any final thoughts, brother?
The draft has come and gone. I appreciate everybody that got drafted, or you didn't get drafted. It's only a new beginning. Put your head down and keep going to work. Make sure that you don't come in talking about what you did in college. What you did in college doesn't matter. It's what you're doing now. Marvin Powell, for Hall of Fame.
My man. Appreciate you, bro.
Yes, sir.
The only surprise I really had from the draft was the Heisman runner-up. Was it Diego Previlla?
Previlla? Yeah.
Didn't get drafted, but he did
Life
sign
comes at your fast, boy. Life comes at your fast.
They say he threw a lavish draft party, like something over the top.
No, yeah, he apparently had a multiple-day draft party, didn't have his name called, had all 32 team hats out there, the whole nine, and didn't get drafted. That's something that's going to stick with him. That's something.
And I think he got invited to the Ravens camp.
They signed him to a 3-year deal.
Oh, okay. Well, look, I mean, look, he's and
that's because he did have an agent. There was rumors. I don't know if it was last week, the week before, that he didn't have an agent. He does have an agent. It's first round management.
He'll be all right. He won't be look. If Brock Purdy is the greatest Mr. Relevant of all time, be the greatest undrafted, be the first. He's the first ever Heisman Trophy runner-up to go undrafted. Go out there and prove him wrong. Now you ain't gonna prove him wrong with the Ravens. They already got their guy, but you'll get a chance to hopefully have a lasting career. You using the fuel, young man.
There's an injury or something. He can make his mark.
Yeah.
Well, we'll see what the future holds for Diego. Again, glad he landed in Baltimore. That was my only real true surprise of the draft. Other than that, I think it was a great week of sports.
I
always love catching up with you guys. Talking NFL, NBA, MLB, everything in between. I didn't quite get to all the topics I wanted to, but listen, the NFL draft was going to rule the night no matter what we did. So, hold on, guys. We'll have more great content from us here on the South Florida Tribune here on the Fan in the End. But as for tonight, I'm Steve. That's Marvin. That's Ben. This was another episode of the Fan in the End. Catch you later, guys. Peace out.